It's Soleil, and this is episode 52, The Red Pilled Orange Pill Investor. And I was listening to an episode of What is Money, Robert Breedlove. And I'll link it in the comments, but they discussed the domestication of wild animals, and something like a bull, they would breed the most docile ones, and they'd basically cut the balls off the aggressive ones, the one that gored people or tried to stomp on people's heads or whatever. And then over 1,000 years of just breeding more and more docile creatures, you got animals that you could just was safe to be around. Similar thing, happened with dogs. Dogs, the ones that hung out by the fire and became more and more docile and basically turned into what we have today, which is an animal that pretty much worships humans. And I couldn't help but think that the way that society is going nowadays, with the I don't even know if it's a veiled effort anymore at basically weakening and emasculating men, which will be the majority of a fighting force if certain elites were to be overthrown. It's going to be, the heavy lifting is going to be done by men. And so it made me wonder if the people in control are intentionally trying to domesticate the average male in the world and trying to turn them from something that would be their biggest competition into a puppy that would lick their boots and adore them and worship the ground they walk on. And judging by some of the adoration that some of these registered voters have for their Democratic and Republican nominees, I would say the plan is working. So if that describes you, then I don't know. Go see if you can find your balls that they cut off and maybe have them reattached. So that's the philosophy part of this. I didn't really make any moves, new moves today. It was a hell of a lot better day, and it doesn't look like I'm in much danger of MicroStrategy going above my strikes. What's tomorrow? Strike. Yeah, going for tomorrow this week. 31 strike. Yeah, no danger there unless something really amazing happens tomorrow. Can check Tesla. Tesla at the 207.50 call. I think that one's down a bit actually. And yeah, so business as usual tomorrow after the open. I'll be looking to close out 3 covered calls here and open them up for next week. Let's just look and see. Get a little head start. If I was rolling right now, 10% of 705 is about 35. So half of that's like 17. I'm sorry, 10% is 70. Half of that's 35-ish, 37-ish. So I'd be looking at maybe the 740, somewhere between the 740 and the 750 strikes. So maybe somewhere around 2,500, 2,700 premium to collect for next Friday, which Limits the upside, of course, but that's the whole point. If I had more buying power, I would use this premium to buy more shares, but the buying power is already razor thin as it is, so I will just be looking to build up some cushion there. There's no reason why Bitcoin can't at any moment just come crashing back down to earth. So let's see, looking at, so there's sharp support here for 40, 42. But Bitcoin has a very long history of crashing below support. So it would not shock me. It never shocks me if Bitcoin drops like 20% below support. So if we call 40 support, somewhere between, if we call 40 support, then, a crash to 32 would not surprise, which would be, and really a crash below, let's see, 8 grand below 40, 32. And really that's almost kind of getting started. Really, if it's going to crash to 32, it might as well crash to 30. And then that's where there was some resistance here. So a crash to 27 or 30 would not shock me. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. My margin would be probably fucked at that point. And I'd probably have to pull some reserves to cover. But this can just keep going to the moon, or at any moment it can just crash below its most recent support. Now, if it does crash below 40, like all the way to 30, 32, I would expect a hard bounce. I can't imagine it would stay at like 26-ish, 25, 26 for very long. It would bounce right back up to probably 32-ish. And people who have, limit buys in at that low, generally these crashes happen so fast that you're not going to just be watching. I mean, it can happen in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. So you have to put the limit. If you want to capitalize on it, you got to put a limit purchase in at, and generally what I would do is if I thought it was, if I wanted to capitalize on it crashing to like 30, I might put in a limit buy at 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. Or if you want to get a little less greedy, put something in at 35. And but if this is the beginning of the next bull market, we may never see 35 again in the history of ever. So that would be nice. But if you do, if you do have some cash in reserves, that is a strategy. But I haven't really done much of that in quite a long time. But since most of my stocks are Bitcoin derivatives, I still have to pay attention to Bitcoin's price. And everyone is eyeballing 65, 67. I thought I hit 67 back in the day, but could be wrong. 65 is close enough. So that's going to be an exciting time when we reach new all-time highs. All right, that's good for now. Be good,